Hello, my name's Dr. Jeffrey Davenport. I'm an emergency medicine physician, and I built a firm well over 30 years now for accounting and advising and planning for physicians and dentists. This is a continued conversation today about going along the theme of why do doctors fail. So, as a reminder, over 90% of doctors in our experience fail financially in the research that we've been a part of or taken part of in using for our physicians and dentists that started in 1971 into the economic lives of doctors and dentists in there. And that's where the issues come from in terms of doctors failing, not being able to maintain the lifestyle they had while they were working. So we've talked, there's a video post on efficiency, which is the first of the three reasons, the major reasons that have been found that doctors fail: lack of efficiency, lack of control, and lack of safety, ECS. So today we're going to talk about control, or the lack of control. So historically, doctors have been known to lose a lot of their monies, to make bad investments, to make bad decisions with their money and not being able to accumulate enough wealth to be, or savings to be financially independent, meaning not being able to hit a point where they are working because they want to, not because they have to, where the savings is paying for their monthly expenses and life costs. So, doctors lose a lot because they give too much control to other people in terms of directing, managing, or investing their savings and or assets. Why does this happen? Well, there's several recurring reasons that have been common for the longest of time. The first thing is that doctors have a lack of education in finance and economics, in the science and the principles and core philosophies that they should have, in terms of in regards to finances, in regards to how to invest and save the money. With the lack of education, they understandably go to hire somebody to do it, or multiple people to do this for them. The lack of education is further compounded by the fact that not only do they not know a lot about it, but that lack of knowledge makes them, they also don't know who to hire. They don't even know how to define who's good to hire and who's not, so they hire a lot of times people that either one, they don't have the specific and specialized knowledge in how to be efficient in planning for doctors. They or they're biased, they're maybe commission-based or have income streams tied to the decisions they make for where your money's going to be going. And so they put the money into things that are not necessarily the most efficient thing for the doctor, but the things that can make them the most income. Now, in fairness, in the 30 plus years that I've been doing this, the industry itself has gotten better and better and better. It's gotten more regulated. There's more true professionals that are truly professional in that they have to go through an educational curriculum. They have to take board exams, they have to have continuing education, and they have to meet a code of ethics, like certified financial planners, and even registered investment advisors fall under a lot of strict guidelines and oversight, and chartered financial consultants, chartered life underwriters. These people have a lot of professional oversight to them. Even so, though, there could still be income structures for them that can create conscious or unconscious bias. So that leads you to, kind of the statement that, you can get an advisor that is sincere or insincere, right? So we talk about the insincere advisors, but you can also get a sincere advisor, but they're sincerely wrong in the decisions they make. So they were ethical, conscientious, diligent in the decisions they made, not biased in the decisions they made for a physician or a dentist in terms of saving or investing their money. They simply put the monies in inefficient or investments that take too much unnecessary risk. So, furthermore, in terms of choosing advisors, since doctors don't necessarily know the criteria to choose an advisor, a lot of times they end up choosing the advisors by choosing the one that called them the most, or the brother-in-law of your brother, or your best friend from college, or all kinds of kind of unobjective methods of picking. And a lot of the times that comes about is not just having an education, but not having the time, which is the other big category. Not having education in finance and economics, and also not even having the time to do the research, to do the homework, and just to do the work that it requires and the diligence that's required to manage all of that. So, it's a dilemma, right? Because you have to save and build wealth. A good rule of thumb would be 30% of what you make should be going to savings. And you go, well, I've always heard 10%. Well, not in your case. A physician has a limited life expectancy in terms of their career. They start later, they end earlier, and so they have a shorter time period to actually save money. And so, again, that's a perfect example of, if you don't know that, or if you don't factor that into your planning, you're going to give maybe some generic information about how much somebody needs to save that might apply to the general population, but it doesn't apply to doctors and their lives. So, in summary, lack of control is given. Doctors have too much lack of control in terms of giving the control of the investments and their savings to either sincere but sincerely wrong advisors, or ones that are just insincere, or both. As a result, it's important to know what you would do in terms of defining how much control somebody should have and how much control they shouldn't have. The first thing is I'm not saying that you should not have advisors. But number one, if we define the advisors that you should have, try to make sure that they're fee only. Fee only means they're charging a fee, they don't make more money or commissions for what they put in. And even not even having advisors that makes fees, but they make it as a percentage of the portfolio, because that can still create bias in terms of the decisions they're making for you. If they're charging a flat fee or a monthly fee, or just a fee that's independent of what investment or what the performance of the investment is, then they're in the position to make an objective decision. Secondly, they should preferably have some type of professional, truly professional education where they're boarded, they have education, and they have boarding, they have continuing education, and they have oversight. It's not enough just to have that, though. They have to have, it's valuable if they have specialized knowledge in planning for doctors and physicians. And that is not as definable as, it's not like you can, it's harder to train in a specialty beyond, so you can become a certified financial planner, you can become chartered financial consultant slash CLU, chartered life underwriter, registered investment advisor, but there's not training for the specialty of planning for physicians. So a lot of that comes out, has to come from people that have experience, knowledge over a significant amount of time and success in planning for doctors. So now you've got an objective pay scale for the advisor. You've got an advisor that has a reasonable amount of education and knowledge and oversight. And the final thing would be, even with those, you want to make sure that they don't have complete control over the money, meaning they can write checks, they can buy and sell anything. A lot of times you want them to be limited to putting the monies into institutional kind of environments where there's another layer, whether they're using large, like for example, Vanguard, Fidelity, that once they put it in there, there's a defined parameter of what they can invest in, what they cannot invest in, and they can't just randomly write checks and go buy an apartment building down the street in your portfolio, or invest it into their son's baseball career or something crazy like that, where it's very limited and it's got an additional oversight of large institutions and the rules that apply to them. So again, this is a short summary of cost. There's so much more to talk about always when we do these videos, but specifically, could you put your monies in and so forth like that. We can't answer that all in one sitting, but it is important, the fundamentals to hold on to as core philosophies to make decisions. All right, thank you.